So we finally had a meeting with her. It was clear that we were the last people that she had met with. I can't say definitively who those people were. She did tell us she spoke with Secretary Grumbles of Maryland Department of the Environment, but I'm also assuming that she met with some of the gas industry. And her very close personal friend is the top lobbyist for the oil and gas industry in the state of Maryland, and that's been one of the counterweights in ensuring that we can't make progress in that committee for so many years. But what we were handed over, and we were really handed over, it wasn't like we had a lot of leeway or it was an open discussion on what the bill should look like coming out of her committee, was a 2-year moratorium bill in which she had scrapped all the language on the public health study and the panel that the General Assembly would convene, and instead had put in language requiring the Maryland Department of the Environment to write and complete regulations for the fracking industry to be able to put drills into the ground as soon as that 2-year moratorium is up.
Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. President. As amended, this bill requires the Department of Environment to adopt regulation to provide for the hydraulic fracking of a well for the exploration or production of natural gas on or before October 1, 2016, and prohibits the regulations that are adopted from becoming effective until October 1, 2017. There are 2 committee amendments. Amendment number 1 changes the title and removes the preamble and makes other technical changes. Amendment number 2 alters the definition of hydraulic fracking, removes provisions related to a moratorium and study, and adds the requirements previously described. Mr. President, I move that the bill lie over under the rule.
All right, before we do that, does anybody have any questions about the bill or the amendments? The issue? All right, well, the bill and the amendments shall lie over under the rules, okay? Clerk, read the next bill, please.
Senate Bill 422, Senator Rosapap, General.
So you went from having a bill that was a moratorium in the interest of protecting public health, a wait-and-see bill, to the complete opposite, essentially, a bill that was a gimme, giving us 2 years, and would regulate the entire state to be able to frack as soon as those 2 years was up.
Sometimes it's compromise or nothing. The gas industry brought out all its big guns, brought in people from all over the country, saying how Maryland was a terrible business state. This was indicative of it, that Maryland was anti-business.
Why did they do that? I think it's because none of them really want to know what the health is saying, what health research is saying. I think they are realizing that any place where people have put health, or health has been in the lead of how this situation has been analyzed, then you end up with a ban like New York.
As a public official looking out for the best interests of our community, I think it behooves us to try to gather as much information as we can, because we don't want to kill the goose that laid the golden egg. Just the same as we don't want to pass up an opportunity that might be something wonderful. So I know it's a long-winded answer, and I apologize for that, but I really don't feel strongly. I'm not a super advocate for or against on this. I really am trying to absorb it all, make a reasoned decision. But at the end of the day, no matter how much no one wants to hear this or not, I could be the most strongest supporter of it or the strongest opponent of it, and it's not. Basically the state's going to come down and make a decision, and it's going to be a much higher decision than Paul Edwards, Garrett County Commissioner.